This level of elitism is out of this world. Ebooks don't count as actual books. Sorry. What a great way to start the new year, isn't it? Yeah, this brand of elitism is baffling to me. In a time when people can't tell the difference between these two boxes and these two gift cards, do you want to totally dismiss ebooks? I'm not joking on those two boxes and gift cards. They absolutely happen. Even if I sort of understand, a quick little reading will save a lot of money. We have cheap tablets that are low spec but can be used to read books or manga. We have a dedicated technology of ebooks that's all about reading using e-ink. Plenty of classic books are public domain and can be read online. We have audiobooks that you can listen to on YouTube. The classic James Bond novels are on YouTube. Even if it's not reading, the content that you are listening is the same. And you want to dismiss ebooks entirely? Humanity truly is doomed as we kept rotting our brains and nothing has changed as the new year started. Isn't that right, 2009 AVGN?
I don't want to be educated. I want to rot my brain.
Don't worry, we have plenty more literacy elitism being spread online in the worst possible ways. This is an insane level of elitism. I have an unpopular opinion. Reading fiction or any books that don't help you develop as a person is as much a waste of time as watching movies. Nothing to brag about. I really don't understand this mindset. I appreciate posts that show people reading, especially published books. They don't get a lot of revenue from sales. Oh, don't get me wrong, plenty of those books are most likely trash. It's the same type of books that those TikTok book women were praising when they contain 18+ content, including incest, bestiality, and non-consensual sexual activities. But that's just another day in the Japanese doujin land, and I read that plenty of times too, so I can't exactly judge. Reading a book is just like any other form of entertainment, like listening to podcasts or watching videos. Even on the trash, you can still extract something fun and insightful out of them. I certainly have lots of fun watching that awful War of the Worlds movie with Ice Cube, seeing the bugs and glitches of Mind's Eye, the worst game of 2025. But appreciating garbage and maybe even finding the diamonds among the trash require a level of comprehension that is unfortunately lost in the youth today. Say what you want about this lady, whatever books she read, she is still way more dignified than this deranged lunatic. Really tired of seeing this post quoted, so here she is shaking her ass. Yeah, this person just generated an AI video of her shaking her ass. That is only the tip of the iceberg of these grok scumbags using AI to edit and make porn of people without their consent. I'll save that for another time. I have loads of AI hooplas, but I'll save them for the next video, as there are also other hooplas that I think are worth more discussing, like this awful take. I have no idea what the context of this conversation is, but this is not something that you want to say to the public. Wanting good writing from a kids movie is like wishing for a dead fish to swim. Are you seriously comparing kids' movies to dead fishes? Zootopia 2 was fantastic. The Bad Guys 2 was spectacular. Wow, those are two movies featuring talking animals, and they are both great. What a great year to be a furry last year, wasn't it? Putting the furry flicks aside, In Your Dreams was pretty good. K-pop Demon Hunters is a phenomenon for a reason. It's basically this decade's Frozen, which is also good. Better than a sequel, at least. My favorite kids movie of this decade is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That Shrek spin-off movie should not have gone that hard, but it did. Ah well, keep on dismissing kids' movies, and that ratio is something that you must live with.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Speaking of kids, let's talk about people feeling weird of fictional characters that they see as kids. I am utterly baffled by this thread. How old is Tsukasa in Knights right now? Around 18 to 20 years old on year 2, depending on who you ask. Does that answer your question? I am asking because I really like him, but I'm almost 25. That has nothing to do with anything. How is your age relevant? I tend to hyperfixate pretty easily on fictional characters, not romantically. I find it interesting that you must clarify with parentheses that it's not a romantic thing, because that only convinces me further that it is a romantic thing. Since there are few characters who are 18 plus, it made me a bit self-conscious about liking one who might be younger and how that could come off. Why does this sound like someone has a gun on your head? And that person is most likely yourself. Like whatever fictional characters you like. No one is stopping you. I am mostly just enjoying the character, music, and vibes, but the age thing has been sitting in the back of my head. I think you have been poisoned by the internet into thinking that you're not allowed to like fictional characters because they are younger than you. They're fictional characters. Like whoever you like. I absolutely love this reply. It's one of those that you just have to pause, read, and embrace. This person allegedly doesn't self-ship, but according to some people, that is illegal. Some people are genuinely clueless about this simple concept. I'm seeing people have mixed opinions on what pro-shipping is, so what the hell do you all think pro-shipping is? It means you are pro, in favor of, shipping two fictional characters together. It's really not that hard of a concept to grasp. Do you seriously think it means problematic ship? Even if it is, they're fictional characters. I don't know. Letting people ship whatever they want sounds wrong to me. You are right the first time. You don't know. There's nothing wrong with shipping two fictional characters. They are fictional. They are not real. I should seek therapy for thinking people shouldn't ship a child character with an adult character and other illegal concepts? No, you should seek therapy for saying shipping two fictional characters is illegal. Instead of getting outraged on the internet, I recommend calling the cops to report all these illegal concepts. Why are you letting criminals run loose? Oh wait, because there's no crime being committed whatsoever. Unless you are referring to shipping drugs, in which case, do report to the police. But I don't think you can, because you're consuming too much of it. Here's another fiction affects reality discourse with two events that apparently proved it. If people are asking me the sources of incidents where fiction affects reality, then this person proceeds to cite two incidents. The first one is a case where a 14-year-old male student stabs a 16-year-old female student because she rejected him. That's from a witness, at least. Apparently, he merely harbored the feelings and didn't explicitly say it. But either way, how does this relate to fiction affecting reality? No idea. Did he consume a specific fiction that encouraged him to do so? I don't know. None of the sources confirm this. The second one is siblings murder case over Robux. That happened too, but that thankfully wasn't a murder case. It's just an attempted murder because the younger brother broke the older brother's phone. But I have no idea how this relates to fiction affecting reality. It's a story of a kid who stabs his younger brother for allegedly breaking his phone. Not a story of how Roblox influenced a kid to stab his younger brother. As to what exactly would be the solution to this, that will need the involvement of many parties to create a safe environment for the younger generation later. Yeah, that involves censoring fiction you don't like. That's not a solution, that's just you trying to appease your feelings. You showed a lolicon that's mad, but I don't see this person getting mad. This person is just saying facts. These are extremely rare cases. Even if they do prove that fiction affects reality, they don't. And they're right to say that once you replace fictional characters with real people, you cross the line. I see nothing wrong with any of these statements, but you call this person mad, even though the person isn't mad at all. It's almost like you're just here to create discourse rather than any factual arguments. You thought that was bad? This text is a lot of nonsense. Fiction always affects reality. What a great opener. Absolute nonsense. People really underestimate how much online spaces shape real-world thinking. This is only true if you are a terminally online lunatic. The internet is not a separate universe. It influences beliefs, emotions, and behavior. Yes, this person genuinely thinks the internet is not a separate universe to real life, as in, the internet is real life. I want you all to keep this in mind because this is the reason why their reasoning completely falls apart. When incest gets romanticized or treated casually online, it doesn't stay as just fiction. Constant exposure can normalize it, reduce the sense of wrongness around it, and slowly shift what people see as acceptable. Except the thing that is being normalized is fictional incest, not real incest. Fictional incest being normalized does not lead to real incest being normalized. The same way video game murder being normalized does not lead to real life murder being normalized. There is a significant difference between the two, and you clearly cannot distinguish that. This is the biggest flaw of this whole wall of text. This person cannot distinguish between fictional incest being normalized and real incest being normalized. This person does not live in the same world as us. They are straight up delusional. We have even more lunacy out of this terminally online anti. When more people treat incest like a theme instead of a deeply harmful reality, discussions change tone. People joke about it, defend it, or dismiss concerns. Yeah, they joke, defend, and dismiss concerns because it's fictional, not real. This builds a mindset where something harmful is seen as acceptable, amusing, or even desirable, and that's terrifying. It's not terrifying, it's fictional stories that's being normalized, not the real thing. I love how you tell us how to feel about the situation, as if that's gonna make it any more convincing. We shouldn't pretend online attitudes don't matter. They do! Of course you think this way. You are a terminally online lunatic who never goes outside. Some lines should never be softened or romanticized, and incest is one of them, because once you break those moral boundaries, the consequences exist outside the internet, affecting real relationships, real safety, and real lives. You have zero evidence to back up this whole assertion. You are projecting your deranged inability to distinguish between fiction and reality to other people and assume that they suffer the same thing as you. They are not. You are delusional and you should go outside. There are many on the internet who think they sound smart, but they are really dumb as bricks. Fiction is separate from reality, yes, but we can all do some critical thinking about why we choose to engage in the fictional content that we choose to engage with and what we are truly seeking with the content, especially the romanticization or sexualization of said content. That would have been a good suggestion if people online can have some critical thinking, but you are putting too much faith in them. They're not here for good faith arguments. They're here to be morally superior and shame others for not having the same morals as them. Also, your brand of critical thinking does not involve any real critical thinking. If it does, then you wouldn't do this. You should feel bad if you get off to the idea of kids being abused. This is not critical thinking. This is moral outrage. This is shaming people for enjoying fiction. There is no critical thinking involved in that. There's no thinking at all. It's nothing but emotions and feelings. The guy clearly said fantasy. They involve fictional characters, and even if they don't, most people's fantasies do not always translate to reality, no matter how screwed up they are. Either you don't watch a lot of fictional content, or you have zero comprehension skills. When they say, stop watching movies or shows with gore or horror in it, or where the character kills people, it's the same thing. No, it's not. I am not getting off to that. Well, no, you do not polish your rockets to horror films. Unless you do, because those Dead by Daylight 18+ content are surprisingly immense, but let's be real here. Even if you don't find sexual stimulation out of horror films, you still go to those films to see characters being hurt, terrorized, or even killed. You take pleasure in people suffering. You really are no different. Yes, they always try to pull these gotcha moments, but somehow always ignore their intent. It's about how the content is framed in the narrative, not just the fact that it's included. Someone clearly hasn't watched a lot of horror movies. Characters are in terror or even die in those movies for our pleasure. It doesn't have to be sexual pleasure, although that can definitely intersect. In fact, it most often is for horror movies, both the old and the new. The point is, if we go to a horror movie and we don't see the characters in horrific or even deadly situations, we wouldn't exactly be satisfied with that movie, would we? You claim that we should all do some critical thinking, but you yourself haven't done any. And that's all for the video today. Here's a cat. Huge thanks to all the wonderful sponsors this week. You're all fantastic. Don't forget to check out my previous videos here. Click the like button, comment, subscribe, join the YouTube membership, leave some tips, just $1 down below. And thanks for watching.